What is up, guys? Souter back, and today I am here with another episode of Souter Stories. Today I'm going to be telling you about the trip I took to Boston. Now, majority of the story I'll be telling you was about my time down at the Blue Jays games I saw down there. Yes, that actually did it during August. I ended up going down in October. So back in August, I got surprised by my dad telling me that me and my mom were actually going to head down to Boston to see the final two games of the regular season. And this was also pretty significant because this was the year that one of the best players in MLB history, David Ortiz, was retiring. This was his retirement year, and I would see his final regular season game. Unfortunately, I did not see his final game because the Red Sox made the playoffs, but they ended up getting eliminated by the Cleveland Indians in 3 games, so I saw his fourth last MLB career game, so that was pretty cool. His 5th and 4th last MLB career game. So, once again, that's pretty cool. So, let's get to the whole point of this trip. So, on October 1st, 2016, me and my mom flew from Toronto to Boston, and then when we got to Boston, we ended up going from Logan International Airport to our apartment now, down in a hotel. So at this time, my parents also had a friend that was down in Boston for business. Her name is Debbie. Her work causes her to travel a lot. But at this time, she was in Boston, and we were in Boston, so we're about 4 other people. So she ended up getting... So the apartment that she was staying in, the rest of the people that she was working with was staying in there. She actually ended up getting us 3 extra rooms. One for me and my mom, one for our other friends, Sean and Dorothy, and another room for a couple other people that I don't remember, but all that I know is that they're friends of my parents. So it was generous, and honestly, I really liked the apartment. My mom said she preferred it over a hotel, mainly because it was more spacious. And yes, it was. I will give her that. It was more spacious than a hotel. So day 1 down in Boston did not consist of much. It just mainly consisted of me and my mom settling down, just getting some food, and we ended up picking up some supplies because we knew because we were only going to be here for a couple days, so we didn't need much. We just ended up getting some drinks and food, mainly for breakfast. So after that, at the end of day 1, I ended up going down to see the Blue Jays play the Red Sox. Now, at this point, the Blue Jays were in a pretty crucial spot because they'd recently blown the division lead, and now they were fighting to make the wild card and there were 2 other teams that were also fighting, the Baltimore Orioles and the Detroit Tigers. Now, we were fighting for the top spot, and the other 2 were trying to go against us. So the first game that I went down, I saw a few Jays fans, and it was nice to see some other people rooting for the Jays. I'd say maybe about 3% of the people there were Jays fans, so the other 97% were just Red Sox fans, so that definitely overshadowed us because we ended up getting a "Let's Go Blue Jays" chant. We ended up getting that for a little bit, and then we ended up getting overshadowed by "Let's Go Red Sox." Same thing happened to me when I was in New York, but that is a story for another time, so we're going to forget about the whole New York situation for now. But in both cities, yes, our chants were overshadowed by those goddamn Red Sox and Yankees in the New York trip. But once again, that's another time. So the Blue Jays, they were down for a lot of the game, but they managed to come back, and they won the game, and that was the end of day 1, which was a pretty brutal day, mainly just because I had to get up really early, and I was on lack of rest, so it was just a nice sleep. So and back to the whole apartment. My apartment was just outside of Chinatown in Boston, just for a whole location part. I think I remember the address. I think it was like 120 Kingston Street or King Street. I don't know what the address is, but that's the best of my abilities. So let's move on to day 2. So day 2, me and her ended up touring Harvard. So I can now brag that I have been to Harvard, and all my friends are dumb because I'm the Harvard guy and they are not. Just kidding, we just explored the exteriors. But yeah, and then we ended up getting some food, and then we ended up going back to see the Blue Jays play the Red Sox. Now, this was a very crucial game because, once again, we were fighting for the top wildcard spot. So we had to have a couple of things go right. So if the Jays had won the game, it's basically a win, and they're the first-seeded team, number wildcard spot. So if we'd won that game, done, we get it. So, but if we had lost, a few things would have had to go right. Like, if Atlanta had beat Detroit, Detroit is eliminated from the playoffs. And if New York beats Baltimore, then the Blue Jays will have the first seed because the Blue Jays had a better record than the Baltimore Orioles in the regular season. And for the Detroit Tigers, not the same, because if we had lost and the Tigers won, we would have been knocked out of the playoffs. It would have been a bitter end. But so during the game, Atlanta had won, so I was super excited. We made the playoffs. And you know how I said about 3% of the people at the first game was Jays fans? Now I'd say it was about a solid 1%. Everyone was here to see David Ortiz lead in his final regular season game. And yeah, it was a lot for Red Sox fans. A lot of Red Sox fans were happy. I just wanted to get this game done with. I just wanted to make the playoffs. And then during that game, Baltimore, they ended up winning. So if we win this game, we're moving on. We will have the top seed in the wild card. So then it gets to a pretty crucial spot in the ninth. Blue Jays are up 2-1, but the Red Sox have 2 men on, runners on first and second with 2 outs against Jackie Bradley Jr. and ground ball to Donaldson over to first. There it is! Blue Jays have won the game and they have clinched the top seed in the wild card spot. So 2 days later, on October 4th, they would be playing the Baltimore Orioles in Toronto to see who would go on to play the Texas Rangers. And of course, I saw that game, but that is a story that was told before, so make sure you go check the link in the description below so you get my time at the American League wildcard game. So yes, we had won that, but the funniest and most ironic thing happened after the Jays had won. We had this one woman say to us in her Boston accent, she did have the accent, "You just won a wild card. We won the division," and of course, the and people, that's the thing, Boston accents, they pronounce theirs, like, if they say card, they say ka. They do not pronounce, when they pronounce their ARs, they do not pronounce the R. So, it's just the wild card. We won a division. So, the most ironic thing was, the Blue Jays, they won the wild card, and they won the divisional round against the Texas Rangers. They were going on to the championship series, and the Boston Red Sox, well, they lost in the division round, so me and my mom wish we could see that person again and say, who won the division? So who made it further? But now that would be no longer relevant since the Red Sox just won the World Series. God damn. So after that, we ended up going to get some really good Italian food to celebrate. Now the flight back to Toronto wasn't exactly pleasant. The flight wasn't the problem, it was pre-flight. Now in Logan International Airport, the Air Canada section is small. It's not very spacious. It was very confined. It was very small with very little places to. You couldn't really roam around. You were just kind of like confined. Like it was like a shoebox, just nowhere to go. So yeah, the flight, there were just mechanical issues before the flight had even taken off. So we were delayed about an hour. So that sucked, but we made it back. And of course, I saw the wild card game the next day as I returned on October 3rd. The wild card game was on October 4th. Once again, I tell that whole story in another video. Go check the link in the description below. So that is my story about my time in Boston. Thank you all for watching. If you want to see more videos, take a second to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below what you want to see. If you want to see me go over my experience at the 2016 AL wildcard game, links in the description below. Same as my experience during Game 5 of the 2015 ALDS. And make sure to follow me on Instagram and Snapchat at StupidSavage. Thank you all for watching, y'all. Have a good day.